So in today's video, I'm going to be going over the top 5 red flags you should look for in women to, one, save you a bunch of fucking time, heartbreak, and energy, and a bunch of drama. Because, hey, we're trying to live a drama-free life, so let's get started. Red flag number 1 is she only hangs out with guys. I only hang out with other guys because it's less drama. No, you hang out with other dudes because you just want more dick. Basically, any girl who hangs out with only guys, or she has a lot of guy friends, or a lot of male orbiters, is what we call them, is simply because she is not secure enough to not only be alone or have a father figure in her life, would be one of the other red flags. But the reason why girls mostly hang out with a bunch of dudes is, one, a guy friend is always someone that they are going to sleep with, already slept with, or want to sleep with, right? Every single time. Or the guys want to sleep with her, right? And she's using them for attention and validation and free benefits, right? And girls like this are just not good girls. These are like OnlyFans girls. This is exactly what OnlyFans girls are, right? They just use guys for money, attention, and validation, all these other things in the hopes of sex, but they never get sex, right? So, same thing with OnlyFans girls and, girls who only hang out with a bunch of dudes. That is a huge red flag you should look out for when it comes to taking girls seriously. Red flag number 2 is she posts promiscuous photos online. If you see her posting a bunch of bikini pictures or pictures in, her underwear or her bra or whatever it may be where she's half naked on social media, she's doing it because she's seeking attention and validation from other men. I've said this on many podcasts before. The only reason why a girl is posting this shit on social media is for attention from other guys, because girls have group chats with other girls. They can make a group chat with all their girls on iMessage and send out their booty pics to their girls if that's what they care about. Because the common objective that girls say is, oh well, it's because it's for my friends to see and it's for my family. It's like, trust me, that's why your family isn't following you and you have them blocked. 2, that's why you don't have a group chat with just your girlies, right? It's always for other fucking dudes to look at, okay? It's always for attention and validation. That should be the overall blanket red flag, is girls seeking attention and validation from other men because they never got that attention and validation from their father, which is going to be red flag number 3. Girls who have daddy issues. Girls who have daddy issues are the worst girls to talk to or take seriously or try to get into a relationship with, right? Any girl who has daddy issues, I can guarantee she is usually some sort of alpha female or some hoe every single fucking time, right? Her dad was either never in the picture, or he was a bad father, or he was a weak father. Every single fucking time the girl ends up a hoe. And vice versa for the guys who grew up with a weak father, absent father, or, non-existent father. All of these things, the guy usually ends up a fucking simp. The guy ends up a complete simp, and the girl ends up a complete thought every single time. And if you look at the stats, girls who grew up without a father figure in the picture always are more likely to end up as a stripper, in jail, doing drugs, drinking, all these things. And with the guy, same thing, jail, being a criminal, all this other bullshit, right? So it's programmed, sadly, and it's subconscious programming that it does to the children to act this way. So this is a huge red flag you should look out for, because I dated a girl with dad issues, and not only because her dad was not in the picture, she always was seeking attention and validation from other men. She's posting promiscuous photos online. This girl was completely toxic, devious, and lying all the fucking time, right? But I fell in love with the looks, right? And I fell in love with the idea of what she could be, right? Because she could be something great, but obviously she's not. But that's why I fell in love with her. I fell in love with the fantasy of her. I didn't actually fall in love with the reality of her. And the reality was, she's a low-quality girl who didn't really have anything special about her. She just had a bunch of problems and issues. She was a huge liability. But I didn't fall in love with that part. I fell in love with the fantasy. And that's the sad thing about guys, is guys tend to create fantasies in their head of, the relationship. They can go on they can just see a girl across the street and they can imagine their whole future with this chick. I think that's the issue with so many guys, is, they instantly create a fantasy of them with the girl, and that instantly causes not only them to fuck up and not talk to the girl in the first place and be awkward and weird with her, but it also causes them to tolerate more disrespect, tolerate more problems with the girl because they're constantly having this fantasy that's not actually reality, right? You can ignore reality, but you cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. So a lot of these girls are hoes, but too many guys fall in love with the sex. They love the sex is great, or they fall in love with her looks, and they continue along with this fantasy, thinking she's gonna get better or she's changed, whatever it may be, and it keeps constantly going back and forth of her being a hoe every single time, or texting other dudes, or posting other pictures whenever she's jealous or mad or whatever it may be, right? That's these are all huge red flags, and these all most of the time stem from a girl who grew up without a father figure. Red flag number 4 is the girl is insecure. Girls who are insecure are always seeking validation. Always seeking validation, right? And it's never good to take girls seriously who are insecure, right? Like I said in the very beginning, a lot of these insecurities stem from growing up in childhood, right? Because a lot of your self-esteem is built within the first like 5 years of your life. And so if you're growing up with, parents who are toxic or they're not good and all these other things, the kid grows up with a bunch of issues as well. And I truly believe that all of us are really just programmed from our family and the people that we grew up around. So not only are people being programmed by social media, which is telling kids to be gay and fucking be hoes and thoughts and be simps, they're also being programmed by their family and whoever else they're being surrounded by, but mostly by school as well. So people are just getting set up for fucking failure all the fucking time. And kids are growing up super, super insecure. And when guys grow up insecure, they end up sucking with women. And they end up also just super fearful of everything, right? And when girls grow up insecure, they end up being a hoe, like I said. They end up growing up trying to seek attention and validation. They end up trying to get things from men. But it's not actually genuine, right? It's always just to use men. And that's why it's important to stay away from girls who are insecure. Number 5 is hoe friends. If her friend's a hoe, she is a hoe as well. Birds of a feather flock together, right? And if you think that, all of her friends are hoes, but she's different, she's special, trust me, bro, you are retarded. Because if you believe that all of her friends are hoes, and she's the only perfect angel in the group, you have to be retarded. It's simply like a homeless person being friends with a bunch of millionaires. Find a picture of that and send that shit to me, because then I'll be like, oh my god, you can't. You fucking can't, okay? Give me a picture of one loser hanging out with a bunch of winners. Vice versa. Give me a picture of a fucking winner, having fun and hanging out and making money with a bunch of losers, bro. You won't see it. Like attracts like at the end of the day. If all of her friends are hoes, all of her friends are cheating on their boyfriends, all of her friends are drinking and smoking and doing all this shit, and she still hangs out with them, guess what? They're going to influence her. They're going to, bring out the worst in her. If her friends are hoes, she's going to end up a hoe as well. And so that's why I always tell guys, before you get into any relationship with a girl, you need to really pay attention to who she's spending time with, right? And if she's spending time with low-quality people, you need to tell her and let her know, like, hey, I'm not going to get in a serious relationship with you, or I'm not going to take you seriously if you're hanging out with these hoe friends, you're hanging out with all these guy friends, and you're just hanging out with all these low-quality people. I just cannot take you seriously. And if she has a hard time cutting off her hoe friends, then cool, she proved you right. You shouldn't take her seriously. Like, it's that simple. But guys, what they tend to do is they tend to take the girl seriously. They tend to get into a relationship first, and then they want to set boundaries. No, boundaries are set in the very, very beginning before the relationship even starts. You need to let the girl know very clearly what you want and what you don't want. Okay? And you don't need to say, I want this or I want that. No. You do it smartly. You do it tactfully. So when a girl says, oh, when are we going to become boyfriend or girlfriend? Well, I'd love to get in a relationship, but the only thing is that you end up, hanging out with all these hoes, you start hanging out with these low-quality people, and, you start drinking and doing all this weird stuff with them, and honestly, just cannot take girls seriously who have, low-quality friends, and because, they're going to influence you, and if we get in an argument, they're going to, tell you to break up with me and do all this other stuff. It's just a waste of my time. I don't want to take girls seriously, because that's literally what's going to happen. If you guys get in an argument, who does she go to first? If all of her friends are guys, what are they going to say? Oh, break up with the guy so you can sleep with me. Oh, break up with the guy. You don't need him so you can sleep with me every single fucking time. And if her friends are hoes, they're going to say the same thing. Oh, break up with him so you can go out with me and sleep with other dudes. Break up with him so you have more time to go party and drink with me and ruin your life, and let's go sleep with random guys. Every single fucking time. The hoes are going to fucking brainwash the friends every single time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys have learned the hard way about dating girls with these red flags, let me know which red flag your ex had, and hopefully you can save the other guys who are watching this video and they don't believe me, right? Go comment down below if you've learned the hard way, and shout out to the Hard Way gang. Let me know if you guys are there, and I will see you guys next time.